Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up. But first, as always, let's take a look at our weather. What's going on in the big outdoor weather? We like to participate in the outdoors so much. We got to know what's going on. So high today's going to be 90. Low's going to be 79. Water temperature brought to us by Allco Electric out of Lynn Haven. This is very interesting. It dropped down to 79. It was up to 83 last week, but it's dropped down to 79 now. It's interesting. We talk about those currents coming in and out. A little cool current came in. Our river readings brought to us by the good folks at Panama City at Coca-Cola. Take a look at the Apalachicola Bluntstown. It's starting to fall out, but it's been pretty high. It's been up to 13 point. It's been up almost 14. This morning reading a 13.3 and dropping on out. And look at the Choctawhatchee. It's a mirror of the Apalachicola. It's dropping out too. It peaked out yesterday. High today is right at 8 foot, but it's dropping out. On both rivers be dropping out in the next couple of days, so it'll be a strong outgoing drop on those. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We got a decent tide today. We got 3 or 4 days coming up where we're going to have some sort of low tides, not much movement going on. Of course, last week was strong, and next week's going to be strong. But this week, sort of got some neap tides. We're talking about low this morning at 12:20 and high this afternoon about 2:12. Wind direction about east, southeast. A little different from west-southwest the last 3 weeks. East-southeast about 10 to 15. We'll take a break, come back with our guest.
At Bay Smile Docs, we know how to make you smile. We're open early at 7 a.m. We're open late until 8. Request an appointment at baysmiledocs.com or call 271-2341 today.
Explore the retail paradise that has everything for your outdoor adventure. Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Make your outdoor journey complete at Blue Water Outriggers. Come visit us today.
Growing up in Florida, I spent a lot of time outside. Being fair-complected, that wasn't the best idea. Now I have extensive sun damage. I've been to multiple dermatologists, and Dr. Sinceri is the only one I will see now. His office staff is professional, they are knowledgeable, and he is an all-around good family man. I highly recommend Sun Dermatologist and Dr. Sinceri.
Sun Dermatology, now accepting new patients.
At Bay Smile Docs, we know your time is precious. That's why Bay Smile Docs opens early at 7 and we're open late until 8. Request an appointment at baysmiledocs.com or call 271-2341 today.
Okay, welcome back. And look who's here, Daniel Cole.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome back. We sit here wanting to talk about boat maintenance, but somehow started talking about catfishing. And you got some a flathead catfish trip coming up for long?
Yeah, me and my buddy are planning one. We're going to do it overnight and see what we can get.
That's going to be fun. And you know, people are surprised how good those catfish taste. They taste good.
I call them freshwater grouper. They're as good as grouper. If you season them up and cook them right, it's just like, to me.
I like that, freshwater grouper. Mm-hmm. Well, what you been up to lately?
Just running crazy. Business is booming. A lot of work, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of boats selling, insuring, buying, you name it.
It's just a busy time of year for you.
It is. This really is our peak time, so we're very fortunate.
One of the first things we always talk about, and it's something that we take it for granted, because we hear it our whole life, is that word maintenance. And I know you see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I got this. You sent me this picture here. I want you to take a look at this picture. I couldn't figure out what it was. So, okay. So, what is this?
That's a sail drive on a sailboat, and it's basically a shaft that runs out of the bottom of the boat. It's like the foot on an outboard engine.
Okay.
And the owner of the boat has not been keeping up with the zinc anodes, and that's the result. You actually,
That's crazy.
the gear case is gone.
It will actually eat it away like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. So
It can do it very short term too, and one of the ABYC publications, there's actually a picture of a bow thruster, and it only took, I forget, it was like 3-4 days, and it ate it up almost that bad.
no way, that fast.
You gotta be in a really bad environment for that to happen, but it
But
can
it can't happen.
Yeah.
And so how do you prevent it?
Zinc anodes, good bonding, good ground system, everything locked up tight, good corrosion.
Man, you see much of that? You see it pretty regular?
We do, and it's easy to tell. I mean, when you, like all your engines and your water systems on, especially on larger boats, will have like strainers or bronze. And it's typical to have a little greenish patina on them from a little natural corrosion.
Yeah.
But when you start seeing a dark blue come out of it, that is the copper it's actually being pulled out of the bronze, and you got a problem. You really need to get something checked, because I've seen drive shafts in that situation that look like wormwood. They're just like holes all in it, look like worms ate it up, but it's the corrosion factor. And it's so cheap to keep zinc anodes up. They're not expensive, and it's just so easy to do. But a good rule of thumb is, and like a good professional diver knows this, like a lot of our boats in our area are cared for by divers. Other people pull their boats out, and they'll check them periodically, but a zinc anode's based on mass. Once it's reached 60% of its original mass, typically it's not working anymore. It's not doing anything, even though it looks like you still got zinc there. So a good rule of thumb is when you lose 25% mass, you get down to 75%, that's a good time to go ahead and change them so you stay protected.
Okay. That's interesting. And when that blue color starts coming out, I mean, that's amazing.
That's actually copper being, I don't know if emulsified is the correct term, but it's being pulled out of that bronze.
Oh.
And, like I said, the green, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Everybody has that. But when you see that dark blue come out, you got a problem.
And if you got a bigger boat, the divers just go down and check it on a regular basis.
On a regular basis, yeah, and they'll go ahead and trade them out for you, because they just bolt on. They've got plates on the inside, bolts stick through the transom, and then they just back to it. And then sometimes they have them on shafts and stuff like that, which some people are actually getting away from using those, because they can, in their own way, cause other problems. But the manufacturer brings that boat out. They've technologically engineered that boat for what size zincs it should have. And so when you start messing with the sizes and stuff, you can create a problem there where you're not adequately covered as well, or over covered. And it's a real fine line, because if you over cover, then what you start getting is what's called haloing. And around all of your through hole fittings, the paint will actually flake off the hull because of the magnetic field that it's building around that bronze through hull.
I mean, who knows that stuff? I mean, if you have a boat, though, you got to learn it real fast, haven't you?
If you want to keep it up.
If you don't, just buying your first boat and all, that's something you got to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what you check on a regular basis.
And even if you have boats that have outboard engines,
yeah,
a lot of times it's easy to see the anodes on the outside of the engine and see that they're changed, but a lot of times inside the engines, they will have anodes as well that run in through the water jacket.
Okay.
And those have to be changed as well periodically, and people don't know that. They forget it. Sometimes mechanics don't want to fool with it. A good mechanic will remind people it needs to be done, but it's just important. It's one of the largest components to the life of your boat.
And you're talking about these outboards, that's what a good marine mechanic can do. And they'll tell you what it needs. And when I take mine in, I just say, check whatever it needs, let me know, and we'll take care of it.
That's right.
And that's why you gotta have a good one you can trust.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. All right, take a quick break, come back with Daniel.
Let's take back this yard!
Hold on, soldiers. There's an easier way to deal with mosquitoes and ticks. Wayne's Pest Control offers modern solutions that are safe and effective, so you don't have to battle them alone. It's best to just call Wayne's Pest Control.
Empire Real Estate of Florida, making your real estate dreams a reality throughout the Panhandle and more. If you're considering buying or selling real estate, please call 850-247-8868.
Hello, my name is Daniel Cole, and I own Cole and Associates Marine Surveyors, where we specialize in doing in-depth surveys on marine vessels of all types, be it metal, fiberglass, power, or sail. I am a professional marine surveyor, both qualified by NAMS and SAMS, and an associate member of IAME. Remember, for all your marine survey needs, call Cole and Associates Marine Surveyors, 850-774-1899.
Northwest Florida is a great place to live.
The attorneys at Manuel & Thompson are part of this community and have been for over 35 years.
We live, work, and play here. We worship here, we pay taxes here, and raise our families here.
When someone in our community gets injured, they deserve to have their claim handled by someone who cares.
Someone who specializes in serious injury cases and has a solid reputation.
Manuel & Thompson, helping injured people. That's what we do.
Let's take back this yard!
Hold on, soldiers. There's an easier way to deal with mosquitoes and ticks. Wayne's Pest Control offers modern solutions that are safe and effective, so you don't have to battle them alone. It's best to just call Wayne's Pest Control.
Okay, well, welcome back. Today with Daniel Cole. We call him our boat expert because he knows so much all these little things we take for granted, and of course maintenance, we always talk about that. In any motorized vehicle or boat, you just got to take care of it, we know that, but a lot of times we say we're going to get around to it, and that phrase right there, get around to it, sort of haunts you at times. But talking about, you look at all kind of boats. We got a picture here. Check out this boat here. I like the way you headed it. Just a few of the boats I recently had the pleasure to know. So tell us about this boat here.
This is actually the Sea Breeze. It's over in MS Dockside in Carabel. Mr. Benji Deloach owns this one, and I'm sorry, Benji, it's escaping me. He owns one of the biggest quail plantations up in Georgia.
Oh, man.
This is an older Hatteras. I want to say 70s vintage. It's been a little bit since we did it, but it incredibly good condition. They did a lot more work to it. It just really demonstrates that you get something like a Hatteras or a Viking, something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the age. If they're kept right, if a boat's taken care of, they'll live a really long time.
Well, that's the thing about it. You're talking about a 70s. That's at least 50 years old with a boat right there. But it's been maintained and taken care of. That hull is in great shape.
Well, the funniest thing I think I've ever heard, I think a lot of our viewers know Bimbo at Miller Marine.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember we were looking at a boat one time, and it was in pretty rough shape. And the guy was a little, I think, aggravated to find out the boat was in the condition that it was, because he didn't realize. And Bimbo, one of the most prophetic things I've ever heard about boats, he said, listen, from the day that a new boat comes off of the manufacturing line, it has one thing in mind, and that is to commit suicide. So your entire life that you own that boat is dedicated to suicide prevention with that boat. So it's always stuck with me. If anything can happen, it'll happen on a boat.
Going to tear up.
It's not one big thing. It's 10 million little things you got to keep chasing on to make sure everything stays copacetic.
And when you need it, you got to have it. All the little things too. The EPIRBs, and we're talking about EPIRBs and all. You see, all the boats have an EPIRB now. You see, and most of them are.
Not all of them,
really,
which is surprising, but it's a great thing to happen. I can remember now. It's probably been a couple of years, but the two young men that we lost off down South Florida that went fishing, they didn't have one, and there was legislation in Florida that. You needed to have one, and they actually had a special time period where you could get one at a reduced rate, because everybody really needs one if you're going offshore. It's a quick way to find out where you're at when there's a problem.
They're fast.
Time is on a boat. Time's everything. Being able to get there and get somebody off if they need to. A lot of people think of a boat sinking and they think, well, it might take a while, but And a fiberglass boat, if you have a fire, that thing will go up so fast, and there is nowhere. You're going to be in the water. So you need some means of being marked and being able to be picked up.
You know, we've talked about that before. I've seen some video now with social media like it is with some actual boats catching on fire. And you think you're on the water, so you don't think about a fire. But man, those things just go up and boom. And you see them melting.
The different components that make up fiberglass, they'll come apart, they'll burn like gasoline. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, we can see you go right there by Deepwater Point. There's a boat laying there that you see it burnt to the water line. I mean, there's some sketchy situation I think going on there. We don't know, but you hear things, but it's you know, it's pretty good testament that when a fiberglass boat catches, it's going to go.
You know, our local fishing fleets, not just here in Panama City, down in Apalachicola and over in Destin, they're really good about maintaining their boats. I know Miller Marine, a lot of them bring them in there. And I just love to ride by there. Sometimes I go in there, look at those boats, the shapes of them, and I just think about the legendary stories that they have.
Well, just this past week we did the Sunrise again for Mr. Abrams, and that old boat, it's a 1965 custom.
Wow.
So it's like, but it's a proof again, if a boat's taken care of, even a wood boat, if it's taken care of, it will last.
Are you still seeing some pretty wooden boats? You still see a few? Or?
Once in a while, a lot of them have been sea-flexed to protect them a little bit, like the Sunrise, but it's, once in a while you'll see some wood boats. They're definitely more maintenance and more upkeep, but if you talk to the old timers, they'll all tell you that nothing rides as good as a wood boat. Fiberglass just doesn't have the feel to it. And you get old timers, you know, the salt water's in their blood. They've been running them for years, and they know because they've dealt with both worlds. So I think it's a pretty good analogy, and
that's a good point there. Sunrise. Who built? Can you remember who built that boat? I do look it up.
I have to look it up too. I don't remember the actual manufacturer, but it was a custom boat.
Yeah.
I want to say built in Williston.
Okay. They built some nice boats down there.
And but I'm not. We're doing so many right now to keep all the details straight.
Who has it now?
Greg Abrams.
Okay. You'll see, sometimes when I'm down there, you see that thing, that'll bring in some kind of fish. I've seen them unloaded, and they do no telling how many fish that boat has brought in over the years. And
or how many smiles it's put on people's faces, you know?
Yeah. I don't know who's they've been different captains over the years, but man, that's been a really, really good boat.
Well, the story was that's the very first boat Greg went out on when he was a kid. To go fishing.
Yeah.
And that's why he wanted it. When it came available, he bought it and he redid it. It's a beautiful boat, man. Beautiful boat.
I didn't know that. We need to get that story from Greg.
We need to do that.
It's so neat now how the Abrams family has been so successful at Tarpon Dock, and they have they hunt seafood now there in St. Andrews and in Port St. Joe on the bay down there, right next to Presnell's. They hunt seafood. And I eat at those places, and I tell friends, the thing about when you eat at a place like that, you know that seafood is fresh because it's coming off those boats right there. I got tickled the other day. We were talking about we were eating there and in St. Joe, and we were going back into town, and I passed a big old van, not a regular van, big old van. It had Tarpon Dock on the side. They had just delivered some grouper down there. I said, that's probably what we just ate, coming off the van, because they ship them all over, but they really take care of local people. And the reason they can do it because the experience they have, but good solid boats that they take care of.
That's right.
And good captains and good crews, hard-working crews, and the guys at the fish market, they all work hard. All right, we're going to take our final break. Come right back.
The gigantic Memorial Day sale continues here at the Sleep Center. Stop by today and you can save up to $500 on select Sealy adjustable mattress sets. Sealy, made in the USA, and available at
the Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Kramer Marine and Outdoor is your trusted source for all your outboard boat and motor needs. We carry Skeeter Bay boats, all-wheeled aluminum boats, and have the largest selection of outboard motors, parts, and accessories in the area.
and our master certified factory trained technicians are ready to take care of you. So shop us online at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM. We're here to keep you out on the water.
If you haven't been to Lighting by Levon lately, you haven't been to Lighting by Levon. We've recently expanded and refreshed. Lighting by Levon is now the largest lighting showroom in our area, featuring thousands of unique and exquisite fixtures and fans that are sure to impress. Visit our dedicated crystal room and check out our clearance center for unbeatable deals. We also repair, rebuild, and custom build light fixtures and lamps. Lighting by Levon is in Lynn Haven and Inlet Beach.
Hey y'all, C&G offers the best there is in both service and brand. Whether it be a Browning X-Bolt or Browning BAR, we strive to provide the best there is to our community. Remember that we have all your shooting accessories like AR-500 plates, plinking targets, eyes, ears, ammo, and much more for warmer outdoor activities. Serving our community since 1950, C&G Sporting Goods, located at 137 Harrison Avenue in historic downtown Panama City.
The Memorial Day mattress sale continues here at the Sleep Center. Stop by the Sleep Center today and you can still save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets. Stearns & Foster, made in the USA, and available at...
Okay, welcome back. Sitting with Daniel Cole, talking about East Point and all those places down there, and your neck of the woods.
My neck of the woods.
Real quick, let's take a look at our fishing game times brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe, 6:08 to 8:08, and this morning, and 6:28 to 8:28 tonight. Let's talk about fishing. So I'm talking about the old East Point area and going up the river. And the old timers, of course, they pull those nets and they did oysters and all. And I just, those oyster tongs and all. Those guys. I've got to know some of the East Point people with Walter doing that East Point First Baptist. So, how do they do that? How do they do over the years those tongs? That would just seem like.
I had a lot of family and friends who did that. You're a man if you can do that. It's incredibly difficult work.
Yeah.
And it's heavy, hard work all day long. It's
all day.
I've known so many friends down in the Appalachia area that, people I grew up with that, their parents would be in their 70s and they'd still be doing that,
Yeah.
But it's just a tough way to make a living, but
yeah.
It's part of our heritage and, we're proud of it. These are good people, good, hard-working, honest people who, really earn their keep.
We were talking about earlier, at the beginning of the show, we were talking about catfishing. We started the show off talking about catfishing, and I get a kick out of talking about all these saltwater captains. I had good friends, like Captain Joe McKinney. He worked hard all summer long fishing, but when he got time off, in the fall, you know what he did? He wanted to go freshwater fishing. And so many of these saltwater guys want to go freshwater fishing, brim and catfish. And you got a catfish trip lining up pretty soon.
Yeah, we had to nail the date down, but my buddy and I, we're going to go up do it overnight, and it'll be a nice thing. We'll go up on the day and then catch some nice brim, and then we'll find some good holes on the Appalachia River up around the Bluntstown area. We'll sit on them that night, spend the night, and see what happens.
That's going to be fun. I know you're going to get some pictures and send us some pictures.
Yeah, I'll bring some pictures in. Unless I don't catch nothing, I'll say we didn't go.
Something happened on that trip. You're talking about the old saltwater guys. I know Grover Davis would take his boat at the end of the fishing season, take his boat up there during Thanksgiving week. Remember then Mike Miller and Mel, that group of guys, that would be their headquarters, but they all went freshwater fishing in different parts of the lower end of the Apalachicola system. I always thought that was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they would stay on the boat.
Well, they just had a beautiful weekend over there, Memorial Day. Mandy and all the girls, they took the Fantasy Island over to the island. And
that's the boat right there.
Day. Yep. What a beautiful piece of history. That's another old boat that's been well cared for.
One of the few left, but you can do that. You save that old boat, and then you go up there fishing with it, or go in there to shell out them with a family for Memorial Day.
Yep.
And that's great, and realizing that's part of our heritage as you're doing that. You know, when you were out, did y'all set up in a trot line? Did y'all ever do any of that trot line, or any of your buddies?
You know, my dad was not into anything outdoors, so I had to learn all that as I got older. I've done trot lines before, but it's not one of my favorite pursuits. I'd rather just go sit and drink a beer and wet a line and see what happens.
Well, the thing about it, you just you check it during the night and all. It's just a lot of fun, but a lot of times you check it during the night, and those snakes gonna be looking at it as much as you are. We
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Oh man, it can be scary. The only time I really get scared is when they fall in the boat with you, and you know that's when you sort of pick your feet up and watch out. Mayflies. It's been I haven't got a lot of reports on mayflies this year. Have you heard much yourself?
No, usually out in our area, they're everywhere.
I know.
I mean, you can't pump gas without them being on the gas tanks, but they are gas pumps. But I haven't seen one this year.
Yeah, I've got some scattered reports. I'm gonna show you some pictures tomorrow. Got the folks catching them with just a cane pole, putting the mayfly on a little hook and all. And the mullet, you heard any reports on mullet fishing?
I've got a good friend, Tony Thompson. He has been cleaning up the mullet, and they're good.
Oh, good deal.
See, they're so thick that you can walk on them and not get your feet wet. But the water's so clear right now over around Redfish Point and other places in the bay where he's been catching them.
Yeah,
they're spooky. You got to be really good to get your net on them.
And people asked me about that the other day. I was talking about going early in the morning or late in the afternoon, but the old timers, they can catch them anytime. They just wait out there and catch them. Flounder, you heard any flounder reports?
No, I haven't.
It's a little early. I've shown a couple of pictures, but nothing big on the flounder yet. I mean, it's June, just beginning of June, and we got the rest of the summer. And last week we had some dark nights, but we have some good situations coming up. You gonna try to do anything else other than work the next couple of months?
Well, this is our peak season, so it's you get it while it's there, and then hopefully it slows down around hunting season. So as long as it's there, I'm going for it.
And you got your lease taken care of. You got your plan.
Everything's good to go. We're set. It'll be another good year with my buddy Max, and it'll be. I'm thinking we'll have another really good year.
Well, that's cool. And, so anybody, no matter what size of the boat you need it taken care of or looked at, I've got some good reports on one of our viewers used you last month, and it wrote a good recommendation of what you did. He had
we appreciate that very much.
Yep, that's good. Well, I got to wrap it up, Daniel. You got to go to work, don't you?
I'm heading to Fort Walton.
To Fort Walton. They got boats over there too, don't they?
They got them everywhere.
All right, thanks for coming on. Thank y'all for watching the show. We appreciate the viewership. Y'all do something good for someone else today. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors and take care of it. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.